What is a plant? How do you decide if something is a plant? There are some structures that every plant has that help you determine that it's a plant. Now, if you'd like to, find a plant for your own and follow along with me as I do this. Be sure to ask an adult before you dig up a plant because it might be needed where it is. This plant has roots. Can you predict what roots are used for? Roots can provide two things. First, it helps anchor the plant in place. The second thing it does is it absorbs water and nutrients that the plant needs to survive. A plant needs to move the water and nutrients around. Can you find a structure on these plants that would allow the plant to move those water and nutrients around? Do you find a stem? This allows the plant to move the water and nutrients to where it can use them to make food. If I'm hungry, I eat a sandwich. But that's not what plants do. Plants are what they call producers. They create food out of water, air, and sunlight. Water is drawn up the stem and into the leaf, where sunlight hits it, and the plant uses that photosynthesis process to generate sugar with carbon dioxide and water. Some plants produce lots of sugar. If you've ever had sugar at the table, it comes from either sugar cane or sugar beets that are grown by farmers. Maple trees also produce a lot of sugar, which is why we have maple syrup in the springtime, when we boil down the tree sap, which has a lot of sugar in it, to create maple syrup. Do you know what else photosynthesis can produce? Oxygen. The air that we breathe is oxygenated from plants. Before there were plants, there was no oxygen on Earth at all. Thanks to plants, we have an oxygen atmosphere that we can breathe and survive in. Plants have many different forms of leaves. Do the leaves on your plant look like any of these? These plants also have flowers. And flowers is what plants use to reproduce. I'm going to take apart one of these flowers and show you what's inside. So I'm going to cut this flower open right here at its base. And if we open it up, we're going to see some very small structures in here called ovules. Ovules are what seeds are before they develop fully. Once the seed is developed, the seeds are distributed by the animals or by the winds and grow into new plants. Just as there are many different kinds of plants, there are many different kinds of seeds. Here's a few examples of seeds. We have radish seeds, like you have in your salad. We have marigold seeds from a nice big flower. Lima beans, which you might have had for dinner as well. Oat seeds, like oatmeal. And sunflower seeds, like you would feed to the birds. In this activity, we're going to be using the lima bean seeds because they're nice and big and we can see everything that's inside. But all of the other seeds have similar sort of structures, just in different sizes and shapes. There's nothing special about these lima beans. We just got them at the store in a dry package. But if you take these and you cover them with water for 24 hours, they begin to change. Here's one that's been in water for 24 hours. You can see the covering on the outside called the seed coat has begun to soften, and it's gotten a lot bigger. We can now divide the softened seed into two parts. You can see the seed coat here, which I'll peel off, and these two seed halves. These are called cotyledons. They contain the initial nutrients that the plant is going to use to sprout. The sprout will start from right here in this area when it has enough water to say it's time to wake up and grow. If you want to, you can take those seeds and you can put them into a cup like this and add water to the cup and put it in a dark spot, and they will start to sprout. And after a couple of days, this is what they'll look like. We've seen the plant begin to put out its root. Now if you look right here, that's the plant embryo beginning to sprout. You can see the leaves just underneath the seed coat there. If this is allowed to grow, it will get bigger and bigger, and we can see that by putting them into a cup with a piece of paper towel, wetting the paper towel and putting it in a dark spot. And after a while, the seed will begin to grow. Seeds like to grow in the dark to start with because that's just what it's like when it's underground. But what happens is the seed figures out which way is up and puts the root down and lifts the seed with those two little leaves right there into the air where the sun can get at it and begin to create sugar through photosynthesis. Now, if you'd like to do an experiment, you can do this yourself with several of these cups. One of them you can put in a dark place to see how quickly it sprouts and grows. Another you can put in a light place to see if it sprouts and grows quickly. After the seeds have begun to grow, you can take them out of the cups and put them into small pots or into the ground in your yard, and they will grow into a plant and begin to produce more seeds. Thank you for joining me for this activity. Now it's your turn to be a scientist. What would you like to explore?